project or a neighboring property owner. So I'll start with Peter Stolreier.
Good morning. I am the architect and the applicant, I believe.
Great. Welcome. I see we have Trey Sheldon from the planning department. Welcome, Trey.
Thanks. Good morning, everybody.
We have Mike Huber here as well.
Hey, this is Mike Huber with the law firm of Dinsmore and Scholl, and I am counsel for applicant.
Okay, great. Welcome.
Thanks, David.
And Joe Latozis.
Yep, I am the project manager at Design House.
Okay, great. Welcome. Are we expecting anyone else to join us here on the applicant on their side?
No.
No,
This is it.
ready to proceed. Okay, great. I'm going to read through the hearing script. This is just covers the procedure for the hearing, and then we'll get started. So this is the May 14th, 2025 session of the zoning hearing examiner docket. My name again is Dave Sturkey. I'll be presiding over the hearing. The case before us today is case number ZH20250040. That's 2716 Digby Avenue. The purpose of the hearing is to allow applicants and any opposing parties to testify and offer and refute evidence and testimony. This hearing will follow the rules found in the zoning code and the supplemental rules of the zoning hearing examiner. All testimony and evidence that an applicant or any other party wishes to offer must be presented at this hearing. The hearing will proceed as follows. The applicant, the applicant's attorney, or the applicant's agent will first present the applicant's case. For our purposes here today, I'll allow however you want to orient your presentation is up to you. One of you can speak, all of you can speak. Mr. Huber, if you want to do more of like a direct examination style, you can do that. But a free flowing, just each of you describing the project and the relief that you're requesting and why you think that relief is appropriate, that's fine too. I'll sort of leave that up to you. If there were anyone here from the public, they'd have an opportunity to speak after the applicant had presented its case. Also, anyone from the public that testified, if there was someone from the public that testified, would be subject to cross-examination from the attorney for the applicant. I'll turn it over to Mr. Sheldon from the planning department to provide me testimony in addition to his staff report. In the event that any party testifies or offers argument in opposition to this application, the applicant will have an opportunity to respond to that testimony offered in opposition. And then finally, the applicant will have an opportunity to make any closing statements. After all presentations have been made, I will close the hearing. Decisions may be expected within 2 weeks. I may limit or exclude any testimony that I deem irrelevant or outside the scope of the application being considered. I may interrupt any speaker to ask questions or to make any comments. In the event of any technical difficulties with the Zoom technology, I'll do my best to troubleshoot those issues on the fly, but to the extent there's some defect that prevents us from meaningfully going forward with this hearing, I may continue or postpone the hearing at my discretion. Okay, the last thing I need to do is just swear in all of our witnesses. So if you intend on providing any testimony here today, the zoning code requires that I swear you in. That does not include attorneys. So if I could have all of those people raise their hand now, I need you to answer out loud. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you shall provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yep. Yes.
Okay. Thanks, everyone. Who is going to be taking the lead here on the applicant's presentation?
I'll take the lead.
Okay, great. Mr. Huber, the floor is yours.
Well, it's a pleasure to present this to you. Yes, Peter.
Okay.
Pleasure to present this to you. This is a project that's been on the boards for quite a few years to augment the existing Pi Kappa Alpha chapter with an additional building and kind of create a small campus. The reorganization of what they have now, we think, is quite a benefit to both the neighborhood and to the fraternity itself. I'm going to share a screen if that's okay.
Sure.
All right. I'll start with this one before we get. Okay. So what I'm showing here are the two parcels that would comprise the Pike Pavilion, as it's called at this point. And there's the original building being right here. This is existing. This has been existing for, I believe, about 15 to 20 years. Right here is a parking lot. And we are proposing to move the parking lot to that location and use the remainder of the site on the front for a 6-unit apartment building, 2 stories tall. One of the reasons we're here is because part of the site is in the Hillside Overlay District, and correct me if I'm wrong, Joe, it's somewhere about in that location.
That's correct.
So this portion of the building does come in contact with the HOD. Recently, there was a building sitting here, and I believe that was bought by the state of Ohio and raised, so it is gone. We understand there's no plans to rebuild. So the two deviations that we came into were the amount of cut in the Hillside Overlay District, because the hill slopes from the low point here to the high point here. And in order to build a 2-story building, we cut into the hill more than the allowable amount. The second reason is because Digby Avenue has an average setback that's set somewhere in this location. It's usually averaged with houses on both sides, buildings on both sides, to keep the building in line with the other buildings. However, since we are at a dead end and our south neighbor is gone, we feel that the minor deviation in moving the building closer to the street is not adverse to the district. It's important to recognize also that we do meet the street side setback for the underlying zoning district. It's just the averaging of the Digby in the neighborhood code that we need relief from. We did try to lay this out. Go ahead.
Sorry, is the reason for the smaller setbacks, you can move that parking lot and create more parking behind, or are there other reasons?
That's right. Our agreement with planning department was that we would not reduce or add any parking to the current parking amount that is provided at the Pike House. So it is basically a 1-for-1 shift of parking to the site. And to us, putting the open space that is parking in between the buildings creates a more usable benefit for all of the residents to park for either of the 2 buildings, because there are several dwelling units in the original building as well as the new building. So the parking lot will serve both. Yeah. So and moving the parking to the other side, to the street side, was it had some resistance in code as well, as parking in the front of a building or in the front setback was also not allowed. So it kind of had us wrapped around to solve the problem as shown. I can share another screenshot. See if I can do that.
And David, we'll have a parking covenant between the buildings to address the shared parking.
Okay.
Hey, David, it's Trey. Sorry I think it's helpful to interject a little bit here. This did come through coordinated site review several times for both the preliminary review and development design review. And this is in a connected communities district. So while the parking for the new building that's the subject of this hearing was not necessary, you still can't lose the parking that you would have provided for the existing Pike House. So when that comes in for permitting for the addition on the Pike House, which does not require any zoning relief, a condition of approval will of course be that they're going to do a covenant with this, linking those parking spaces onto this Digby property to cover the appropriately cover for the Stratford. And I'm sure Mr. Huber will probably draft up that. And by the way, Mr. Huber, we have a sample of a covenant. If you'd like, you can email me and I'll provide you with the template, if you will. And then Mr. Sturkey would later need to review that. But that's
we have that prepared.
Oh, you do? Okay. I thought I might have said it.
I can send that to David for his review whenever the appropriate time is.
Yep, I just thought I'd clarify that because it's, in discussing why the parking had to be where it is and so on, it's important to understand that for the overall picture. Thank you.
Thanks, Trey. Peter,
Yes.
it looks like you pulled something up here. Is this just demonstrating a rendering here?
Yeah, this is just basically a really, really clear way of looking at what this design proposal is all about. So, it kind of speaks for itself. I think it's, you can see the hillside cut for the building right down through there, and then you can see the setback. And it's also important to note that the distance from building to asphalt or to street is 18 feet. So we're not crowding the street uncommonly, if it were, as it were. So it's doesn't seem out of place. And really, I think one of the other benefits of switching the parking onto Digby is that the activity level of Stratford is much greater than Digby, especially since Digby's a dead end. But pulling all of the cars in and out onto Stratford as the fraternity members come and go it does cause some traffic conflicts, and we've eliminated them. So put a little green space up there, and from a planning standpoint, I think parking lots are urban black holes, and Trey probably would like to see it green space like it is now, and a building facade. So that's that's really all there is to it, David. And we're ready to develop. The construction plans are done. They're in for permit for the Stratford side, because as you can see, this part of the building is new. So that's in and moving forward.
Right. Okay. Did you discuss the cut? Is it 14.75 feet, the total cumulative excavation and fill? Is that right?
I believe so. I could share that also. Oh, hey, come here. There we go. So that is the diagram of the cut. The cut is deeper at the dead end side, and then the slope of the ground, the cross slope of the ground goes that direction. That is why this diagram shows compliant cut, and this diagram is where the non-compliance is at.
Got it. Okay.
And yeah.
All right. It looks like there's a step there as you go up the hill with the cut. Is that right?
The foundation does step.
Okay.
Yes.
David, it's Trey. Notably, there's also behind the building, in order to do, there's sort of a second stepping, if you will, because they have a wall that's there that's compliant, that's behind the building. And if you see in the site plan, and I explained this in my staff report, there's sort of a little mini bridge, if you will, that allows people to come in at the higher level, exiting essentially from the second floor, entering and exiting from the parking lot into the second floor of the building. And so there's sort of like a little micro canyon, if you will, behind the building that is highest at the south part of it and tapers going northward, as Mr. Storer indicated, so that it's steepest at the south end of the building there. And so that's what creates part of the cumulative excavation and fill. It essentially steps twice, once several feet in the middle of the foundation, and then again when there's that back area.
Okay.
There's two steps, and the resultant excavation from this area is being utilized on this landscape slope so that we can eliminate another retaining wall. An existing retaining wall is there now. So from the right of way, the public eye will now see no retaining walls, because from a certain angle of view, like that one, oncoming traffic is confronted with 0 retaining walls.
Got it. Yep. Okay. I don't think I have any other questions. Anything else you want to tell me about the project?
No, I think that's it. We've got a pretty enthusiastic, excited, and funded project through the alumni organization, and just raring to go. Cash in hand.
Okay, great. Anything else from Mr. Huber or Mr. Latosis?
Nope, I would just thank Trey and thank staff. They've been great to work with through the process. I would also point out the relief we're asking for here was found from the Hillside Overlay District. That district does encompass only about 10 to 15% of the site in the southern corner down there, as Pete's showing on his side there. So, yep. So we did obviously keep the Hillside District in mind as we designed the property, and attempted to be as compliant as possible with that. But given the landscape there in Clifton, I think the solution that's presented now still meets with the spirit and intent of the Hillside Overlay there. But
Okay,
that's all I got.
okay, great, thanks. Trey, is there anything else you wanted to add?
The only thing I can really think to add is that there is a form follows function kind of aspect to this, as these gentlemen have indicated. I mean, I've been working with Peter and Joe on this for months. I mean, it's been since last when they were formulating these ideas a couple of years ago, I believe, and then we've been in the coordinated site review, preliminary reviews, and so on since last summer. Just that. Not only you ask about shifting the building forward as far as the front setback, and it's not only to preserve the parking that they wish to have to keep, at least provide for 2711 Stratford, but also for the fraternity members who'll be residing in this new building at 2716. But there's a real practical element to it too, which is, although not all of this is in the Hillside, if you did shove this building back all the way to compliance, not only would you lose parking lot, but you'd be just having a ridiculous amount of excavation back further, if that makes sense. You would just be hauling off truckload after truckload of cubic feet of soil, which, from a hillside and a financial standpoint, it would just be silly. I mean, just shift that thing all the way back. So I just wanted to explain that form aspect to it, because that didn't really come out quite here. But it's not just amount of losing parking, but also, having to dig and remove a whole bunch of the soil, which is just completely unnecessary. So I'd want to add that additional point.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
Anything else? You have any questions or anything?
I don't think so, no.
Okay.
I'll let the applicants, if you want to make any closing remarks before we adjourn, you can do that now.
Well, on Trey's note, from a constructability standpoint, and I did read a lot of the guidelines and the goals kind of stated within those. And the way this is designed is to balance the site. So, and we've done that with the excavation. The cut and fill is equal, and that means that we're not reshaping the world. We're not changing the grades. We're not changing the way water or anything else flows throughout. Matter of fact, we're adding stormwater detention on both properties, so that'll be even better engineering results from that. So, but I think it's a good addition to the neighborhood. I have the assumption that there isn't any public debate about this. I don't think anybody's on, other than more people on my team that maybe signed up to be on as the public. But if there are, then we'd be happy to have a discussion with them.
Good. Yeah, there's I think it's just us. There could be some people observing on YouTube, but I'm not sure. I think we can leave it at that. I've had a chance to review the application materials on this and staff report. Based on that, based on the testimony I've heard here today, I am going to approve the project. I think it'd be impractical to strictly enforce the zoning code to this application. So I need to formalize that approval in a written decision. I should have that to you within the next couple days. If not, shortly thereafter. As soon as I finish that written decision, I'll put it into a PDF and I'll email it to everybody in the hearing here. So you'll have a copy of it really just moments after it's complete. Once Trey sees that email, you can approve the zoning permit on his end. You all can take the next steps. Any questions about any of that? Okay. All right, great. Well, good luck with the project.
Thank you.
Hope you'll have a great day.
I do have one point.
Trey, did you want to say something?
Yeah, real briefly, just because I've been working with these gentlemen so long, and it's been a pleasure to work with you, by the way. Also, if, when you come in for permitting, neither one of these projects is in for permitting yet. So I'm sure that Mike will go ahead and start to take care of the covenant, a part of that. David, congratulations to David here, as proud papa a second time, and will be out for a little bit for paternity leave. So I think that's why he's trying to get this decision to you guys ASAP. But this is not in for permitting, so I would ask that when you do bring it in for permitting, hopefully, Mike, you will have already taken care of the covenant at that point. Please include that with the permitting. And the other thing is, please reference this case number with the permitting. Sometimes things come in and you get a denial letter for a permit, and then it's considered an adjudication letter. In this case, it's a preliminary one based upon this coordinated site review. So in the event that I'm out of town, for example, when this comes in for permitting, so that my colleagues are aware of that, please reference the case number and the approval and the decision. Okay?
Hey, Trey,
Yes, sir.
do you want that parking covenant in draft form, or do you want it to be recorded?
David will need to see
Draft.
it in draft form first.
Draft.
Yeah, and I likely won't be the one reviewing it, unless it comes in. I mean, even if it came in the next couple days, I'm going on leave next week, so even if it came in the next couple days, I don't know if I have time to review it. I think you should send that to Trey. Trey, you can do the RLS, and Kevin will either sign it out or do it himself. But it should come in draft form. I mean, it should be a final form, but it shouldn't be recorded. We want to review it, make sure it's appropriate before you actually go through the recording process.
I think you guys have to sign off as to form if
Yeah.
I had to guess. So
That's right.
I'll circulate that to Trey, and he can get it to whoever in the department. We'll end up reviewing that, and then we'll take care of the recording once that's all good.
Sounds good. All right.
Congratulations, David.
Thank you. Appreciate it, guys. And good luck with the project.